project is based on Chinese traditional pentatonic scale. Speaking of scale, the heptatonic scale is most common in the world, and today we are talking about pentatonic scale. We have learned a music scale, a scale called pentatonic scale. Pentatonic scale is a traditional music in China. The scale has 5 notes. They are gong, shang, jue, zhi, yu. A pentatonic scale is a music scale with 5 notes per octave. In contrast to the more familiar heptatonic scale that has 7 notes per octave. The pentatonic scale originates from the spring and autumn period. The pentatonic scale is widely used in Asian, Chinese, and folk music. Based on the resource, the typical heptatonic scale has 7 notes per octave, but contrasted with pentatonic scale just has 5 notes per octave. The gong represents 1. In the scale, other notes just follow the rules, such as gong to shang is a major second. Shang to jue is major second 2, but jue to zhi is minor third, but zhi to yu is major second, just like that. The pentatonic scale is widely used in Asian, Chinese, and folk music, just like jasmine flower. Jasmine flower have many versions, such as piano and violin and choir and lots of Chinese traditional instruments. And the whole piece is based on gong scale. Why we chose this piece because the piece is very well known. Every Chinese people can have heard from that. Let me display some version of jasmine flowers. This version of jasmine flower is performed by erhu. Erhu is a Chinese traditional instrument. Another one is by Zhu Yinsong feat. Celine Dion. The next example is that we present is called Butterfly Lovers, also well known called 梁山伯与祝英台, and this song is based on a fairy tale in Asian China. The piece is all about this story, which is a woman who fell in love with
a man that they have family issues between each other, and the man turns out are beaten up and beat to death because of the woman's family, and the woman committed suicide in front of his tomb in the end of story, and they both become the real butterflies and fly to the sky in the end of this story. So this story and this song were also being advertisement from the Chinese government in 1950 when they present the new marriage law, since they want the woman to find their real love and to have more baby in the future. And just like this article says, the folklore movement also promoted instrumental in projecting modern issues onto this favorite folk narrative, such as the struggle for women's rights and the concept of marriage based on love. So we can see that this piece is kind of not only can be talked about in pentatonic scale, but also can be talked about with women's rights in this content. There are lots of different versions for this based on this story, such as films, TV dramas, and musical operas. And this story, the film of this is the first color film in all history through China. So it's really impressive during the Chinese history. As we can see, this is the score of that piece. And here is the violin concerto of this piece. And this was presented in a New Year concert in China. And next, we will present the traditional Chinese instrument, which was made based on the pentatonic scales. The first one that we will express is the traditional instrument zheng. And the zheng is really special since the whole instrument is based on the jue scale. And the jue scale is D, E, F sharp, A, and B. It's just like the zheng has 21 strings, and each strings are all based on the jue scales, and it's back in fourth and ends in the 21st string. As you can see in this chart, the first string is a number 1, it's the D string, and it's this high. And it's all the way to the 21st string. It's also a D, and this is this low. But it's all 1, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1, 6, 5, 3, 2. So it's just like a pentatonic scale in a jue scale.
Another instrument is called bianzhong. Bianzhong also is a Chinese tradition in instrument. Each bells have a different sound. It's made by drums. The bianzhong not have exact stable sound. It's all based on performance.
The bianzhong is listed as a primary mental instrument, and thus had the mental section under the Baiying classifications. Its long history dates back to the Shang dynasty, with a construction for two different pitches from a single bell and a unique casting method. The bianzhong is one of the more unusual instruments of traditional Chinese music, because each bell has a different tone. We can make wonderful music. So let's talk about the pentatonic scale in different cultures. As we all know, the pentatonic scales are not only being used in China, but also being used in Japan, Africa, Europe, folk songs, and somewhere in Korea. Just like this article says, world music theory is important to refer to so that students understand the difference between Western and non-Western music concepts. Since pentatonic scales appear in many types of music, including Chinese, Japanese, Indonesian, African, and European folk songs, and the major pentatonic scale is a good place to start with the student. Therefore, that's why when we start to learn the piano, there is also have a sound like. This is all based on the pentatonic scale. Here is the examples that pentatonic scale were being used in other cultures. The first one is Mary Had a Little Lamb. I just played some seconds ago. And the second one is Swinging Low, Sweet Chariot. And after we do some research about the pentatonic scale, there is a very interesting one that a group of scientists use the pentatonic scale to have an examination with the brain activities in order to contrast with the brain activities for the people when they hear heptatonic scales. And the result is that shows that compared to the Western heptatonic scale, the pentatonic scale shows stronger potential for listening to and discriminating brain activity, which means that the pentatonic scale are also easier to be remembered. Therefore, it's really good for the instrumentalists when they are a beginner. The last thing that we will talk about is a kind of a topic about why Europeans doesn't have that much pentatonic scale folk songs compared to other culture. And after we did some research, I think there is some issues with the pentatonic scales since it was developed and started in Asia. And the interesting fact is that in India, their folk songs are the mix with pentatonic scale and heptatonic scales. Therefore, the Indian music can be seen as a mixed culture in this content. And for the reasons that why Europeans doesn't use the pentatonic scale that much, I think it's because of they already have the heptatonic scales, and the heptatonic scales are fully expressed in their traditional instruments and also in their music works. And just like this article says, Western Europe is weak in pentatonic scale, but still strongly in heptatonic. And elsewhere in Asia, pentatonic scales are common if it's not predominant. Some countries like Mongolia, China, Japan, Java, also South Seas, New Guinea. Yeah, all of this is our final project of the pentatonic scale, and we hope that you can learn something from it.
Through this project, I've learned the developing of the pentatonic scale with heptatonic scale. I can mix them together, not stay in the original pentatonic scale.
Also, we have difficult during our research, such as we don't have enough enough material on the databases, even though they have some material about that, but not suit for our project. Can you talk about what you learned from this project?
For this project, like, we have been through a lot for making this project because there's really difficult to find some resources that we can use. Even there are some like peer-reviewed articles in the database, but it's not anything that we can use. We can only choose something to use. But I did gain lots of knowledge about the Chinese pentatonic scales and also some politics and also historical events as for like about the pentatonic scale, and it's really interesting. Yeah.